Hey guys, so I'm doing this video to formally introduce myself to you guys. I just hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube and it's just so crazy to me. Like today is the exact day that I put up my first YouTube video last year. Like so crazy how much has changed. I just wanted to thank you guys for being subscribed to me and all your sweet comments. Like it literally makes my day to even be able to interact with you guys, and thank you guys so much. And I hope that you guys enjoy this video. It's going to be kind of like a Q&A style video. I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram and YouTube. I printed them all out on this paper, so I'm just going to go over them and I'm going to answer your guys' questions. Where do you live? So I live in Northern California. I live in San Jose, so it's a little bit below San Francisco. How old are you? So I am 24, even though I look like I'm like 18 probably or less. What are you studying in grad school and what was your major in undergrad? So I got my undergraduate degree in computer science from Arizona State University, and now I'm in my graduate degree, which I just started in January actually, and I'm doing engineering management. Why did you decide to study computer science in college? I'm a computer science major too, love seeing more girls in engineering. That's awesome. So at the end of high school, I knew I really enjoyed doing math, but I didn't really know how to apply it, I guess. So I took this programming course in high school, and I ended up doing a program at Google as well, and I kind of just took it from there. Okay, so now I'll get into the journaling questions. How long have you been bullet journaling? So I started bullet journaling mid-January of last year, so a little bit more than a year. How did you get into bullet journaling? So after graduating my undergrad degree, I was kind of lost, and I was kind of not really feeling confident, and I was super anxious about doing interviews and figuring out like what I was gonna do for the rest of my life, I guess. I needed something to kind of plan out my days so that I could start doing interview prep or start applying to jobs. So I ended up getting this guy, and I don't know if you guys have seen one of these before, but it's called a passion planner. And basically what it is it's a planner and a calendar, but it's also a place to put goals, like lifetime goals, 3-year goals. It's actually kind of cool, but I just felt like it was a little bit too rigid for like what I wanted to be doing. And so I started looking up different ways of planning, and I came across bullet journaling. So the reason I found out about it actually is because I found Cheyenne Barton's YouTube channel, which I absolutely like adore her. She's so awesome. She's my all-time favorite bullet journalist and who I found out about bullet journaling from. And her style is very different from a lot of people's bullet journals. She puts in a lot of photos and just like personal little touches, and she does a lot of like art and doodles in it. So I just really liked her style, and I never knew that you could keep a journal like that. So that's kind of what inspired me to start bullet journal. What's your favorite part about having a bullet journal? I have 3 things that I would say. 1, it keeps me on track because I'm the type of person where if I don't know what's going on for that day or for that month, I kind of like freak out thinking that I'm forgetting everything that I need to do, and it makes me like super anxious. So bullet journaling definitely helped me in that sense, just be able to look at what I need to do each day and I don't feel like I'm forgetting everything. Another thing is that it allowed me to start practicing my art and also keep a kind of like scrapbook of everything that I was doing, because over the last couple of years I've been traveling a lot, and it was just a fun way to keep everything in my journal and be able to look back on it later. How long does it usually take to prepare a new weekly spread? So for the weekly spreads, I would say about 20 to 40 minutes, depending on how detailed I get, I guess. But for my monthly spreads, I would say it takes about like 2 hours probably, because I do the whole watercolor each month. With how busy you are, how do you keep up with your art and your journal without it becoming a chore? So that's something I've struggled with like a ton this month. Like I've always been pretty good about bullet journaling every single week, but I'll show you guys this month. Okay, so there's the cover page, my trackers, which I did. This is the only page I did the entire month. And it's just because this month I have midterms in like 2 days from now or 3 days from now. And I've just been like preparing for those like crazy. So I just need to make the time. I usually make the time on the weekends. If I knew I'm going to be really busy the next week, then I'll plan it out for the entire week beforehand. So yeah, I'm not the best at that right now. I'm a big fan of your scrapbook style spread. I'm wondering how you come up with the themes for your spreads. I follow a lot of photographers, like traveling photographers on Instagram, and I also follow a lot of photography on Pinterest. So if I see a cool photo or something that would inspire a theme that I wanted to do, I'll kind of try to translate that into my monthly spread. What was your favorite monthly spread ever? P.S. As I'm writing this, I'm watching your videos for inspo for my journal. That's awesome. So my favorite weekly spread, I'll show you guys my 2 favorite weekly spreads first, and then I'll show you my favorite monthly spreads. Okay, so I really like this one. This one's probably one of my favorites out of my new bullet journal. Out of my old bullet journal, this one, which was like a snowy themed one that I did. And my favorite monthly spread is probably this one. I don't know why, it's just always been one of my favorites. I put it as my YouTube icon and everything. I just really like that one. The most recent one that I did is one of my favorites too. So the next questions are how I started doing art. How did you get into watercoloring? Did you have any former experience? Ever since I was younger, I loved doing art. My grandpa and my aunt are actually both like really amazing artists. My grandpa does a lot of watercolor and my aunt does a lot of she does watercoloring and drawing. So ever since I was little, I got to watch them doing art, and I knew I wanted to do that in the future. I would always practice. I would do like little doodles and stuff, but I would say I didn't really start getting good at art, I guess, until high school. I took an art class in high school, and then in college I actually took a watercolor class, but mostly, honestly, I just practiced. In the beginning, I did a lot of self-learning just by trying to kind of emulate artists that I liked, and that was probably the most helpful thing, was just practicing. How long did it take you to figure out your style? So this year is when I started following a ton of artists on Instagram and on YouTube, and I feel like that was the biggest factor in me finding out like what kind of style I wanted to adopt myself. I kind of took themes from things that I enjoyed doing, like hiking and traveling, and I tried to put it into my art. I still don't feel like I'm totally 100% there yet. Like, I don't know exactly what my style is still. So I'm still trying to figure that out as I go, but I've only been doing art like consistently for this past year, so we'll see how it goes in the future. Also, this year I was actually able to do a like little art fair with my grandpa and my aunt selling our art. It's kind of crazy like that we got to have 3 generations of us at our little booth, and it was just such a cool experience to get to do that this year. So the next question is about where I draw inspiration from. So which YouTubers, bloggers, etc. do you draw inspiration from for your journaling, art, etc.? So my favorite YouTubers for bullet journaling and art are Cheyenne Barton, who has really cool and authentic artistic videos. Jordan Clarke, who I just think her videos are like so aesthetically pleasing and relaxing to watch. So, and I just love her art and her style. And then StudywithInspo, who has a really cool bullet journal. For Instagram accounts, I follow a ton of artists. for my inspiration, I guess I would say, more than bullet journalists, but I'll link all of them here. But these are the ones that I look up to and that I just love following and seeing all of their art. And I actually recently got a ton of different art and stuff from their Etsy shops. I'm saving these because I'm actually gonna make a video showing you guys everything that I got. So that'll be really exciting to do because I just admire all of them so much. What inspired you to start a YouTube channel, and what would be your advice to someone who is thinking of starting one? So at that time, my sister had made her YouTube channel a few months before. So she has an ASMR channel, and I thought it looked like so much fun making videos and posting them to YouTube. So I kind of wanted to do that once I started bullet journaling. So at that time, I put up my first video, and I wasn't really expecting much, but never in a million years would I have thought that this many of you guys would be watching my videos. It's just like so crazy to me. And I've never been a very good speaker, so that was like the one thing that I had to really improve on in the beginning, was just trying to be able to talk about what I was doing in my videos. And I feel like I've come a very long way from when I first started. This video is very different because I'm talking to the camera and I actually have to think about like what I'm doing as I'm talking. So it's a little bit awkward, but I'm glad that I get to like push myself to do this, and I'm sure I'll do more of these in the future. We'll see. And then for my advice to anyone thinking about starting videos, I would say a big thing is just making sure that you would want to watch them yourself. So for me, I really enjoy aesthetically pleasing videos and relaxing videos, so I kind of try to do that in mine. So I kind of try to like spend a lot of time setting up my videos beforehand and like making it good looking. What do you love most about YouTube? Do you ever regret not starting sooner? What I love most about YouTube, I would say, is that I get to connect with you guys and I get to put my art out there. I got to start my Etsy shop from it. I mean, it's just been amazing that I get to do any of that. How do you manage YouTube and going to school at the same time? Well, this month has been not as good, but in the past I usually just try to find like 2 days that are back to back where I can film, edit, voiceover. I don't know if you guys know this, but I definitely didn't when I started YouTube, is that filming and voiceovering and editing, it takes like an entire day or two to do, at least for me. I don't know what it is for other people, but it takes a very, very long time for me to edit. So next, I'm going to be answering questions on my Etsy shop. The first one is, how did you start your Etsy shop? So I don't know if you can see it, but right there, I had my cry cut just sitting in my room for probably a year. Didn't really do anything with it, didn't know what to do with it. And then when I started bullet journaling, I realized, oh, I could make stickers for myself and use them in my bullet journal, and it would be a good way to like practice doing my art. And at the time I got a iPad Pro, so I started making little designs and templates on my iPad, and I started cutting them out on my Cricut. And then I thought other people might want these as well, so I started my Etsy shop. What is your advice for starting out in the Etsy sticker business? I would definitely say, if you're making stickers, study up on sticker making way ahead of time, because it takes way longer than you're gonna think to actually like get everything set up. I made that sticker making video because I spent so long searching through tons and tons of videos, but there was never like one video that explained everything in detail from like one source. So I wanted to make that video. The other thing I would say for just like starting an Etsy shop in general, make sure that what you're putting out is something that you would want to buy, and putting your own kind of style on everything. What is the most important thing you've learned from having your own shop? Definitely that it takes a lot more time than I would have thought. Right now, it's kind of like my full-time job. I spend hours and hours making stickers, packaging. Definitely takes a lot more time than you would think. All right, so this one's about lettering. How did you get into lettering, and do you have any tips? So last year, I started following this girl called Dawn Nicole Designs, and she has a Facebook page actually where basically each week or each day you get an assignment of something to letter, and everyone in the group submits their pictures of how they lettered that subject or that word, and it was really, really cool. But that's kind of how I started. And then I got this lettering book by Peggy Dean, and it was kind of like a guide to starting out brush lettering. It was just practice mostly. So this was my brush lettering back then. And then now it's more like this. Definitely have come a long way in lettering, but I'm still not amazing at it. So these next questions are kind of more like just random facts and questions about me. Do you have any siblings? So I have 3 younger sisters, and I have a dog. What are your hobbies besides journaling and art? So I love video games. I always have. Ever since I was younger, I grew up playing Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, but I'm absolutely obsessed with the Zelda games and also Kingdom Hearts, but Zelda's my all-time favorite. Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild, those are like my all-time favorites. And then my other hobby is definitely traveling. So my boyfriend and I usually just do like little day trips, or we'll go to our favorite places, which have definitely been Yosemite and Half Moon Bay. Ever since I graduated from college, I've like tried to go as many places I could in the time that I have. If you could choose any other job than the one you have now, if you could choose any other job other than the one you have now, what would it be? Definitely doing graphic design. Who's your celeb crush? So right now, my celebrity crush would have to be Adam Driver. I originally like absolutely loved him in the show Girls, and then he became Kylo Ren in the Star Wars movies, and he's awesome. What is your favorite trip that you have gone on? My boyfriend and I took a trip to New York in the Christmas season, which was so cool, and we got to see so much. That was probably one of my favorite trips of all time. And then I also, right after I graduated college, I went to Costa Rica. I went with like a group, but I didn't know any of them, so I did that. And then my last few days in Costa Rica, I just spent like on my own, and that was the first time I'd ever traveled by myself, so I thought that was like a really cool experience. Introduce your dog. Okay, I'll get her. Sophie! She's usually always in my room. Come here! This is my dog, Sophie. She's a Labradoodle, and I forgot to put this on my hobby list, but literally my other hobby is just hanging out with her. But yeah, this is my dog. She's a bit of a troublemaker. She ate like a ton of trash and threw up probably in like 4 different places throughout the house, so that wasn't good, right? Thank you guys so much for watching my Q&A video. It was kind of fun sitting down and like answering your guys' questions. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about me. I hope to see you in my future videos.